Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It is go time. I appreciate you being here today to discuss automation domination. My name is Randy Carroll. I'm the strategic partner and channel sales manager here at Chime Technologies, and I really look forward to speaking with you today. What I'm going to do is run through a quick presentation that I've covered, kind of setting the scene, going over some of the benefits of automation and what it provides for your business. We'll make some time for some Q&A at the end, and then we'll get you guys out of here on time. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Let me pop my screen open, and we will begin. So, you would think, there we go. Very good. Yes, so title again for today's presentation is Automation Domination, how to get more done in less time. In order to be able to grow a scalable business model in the real estate space and really in any business model, it is absolutely quintessential that you implement automation into your business. So today, what you're going to learn are proven strategies to automatically engage leads, how to maximize lead generation ROI, how to automatically convert more clients from new and existing leads. So one of the things that I'm going to talk about today is being able to get more juice from the squeeze from what you're already paying for. And I don't want to spoil anything else right now. My commitment to you today is to deliver clear and direct information, give you immediately actionable strategies and step-by-step instructions, and use case studies and real-world examples to show you what exactly we can help do for the business and answer 100% of the questions, assuming time commits. So to kick us off, I love a good quote. Pretty much 99% of my humor also derives from quotes. I'm not uniquely creative, but in anything we do, any endeavor, it's not what you do, it's why you do it, right? So you must have a big why. I'm sure everyone's heard that here before. My ask of you is today, while we're thinking about automation and implementing technology and a lot of things that are otherwise considered very, how should I put this, intimidating, think about your why, because that's really going to be what motivates you to get through it. Be engaged, take notes, please ask questions, be open to new ideas. I may say some things today that perhaps in the past you have disagreed with or otherwise actually not heard of. Please be sure to keep an open mind, be vulnerable and honest with yourself, and keep your clients top of mind, because this is a relationship business. And as we know, it's impossible to be successful without your clients. Quick comment about why this might be for you. You're a growth Citrix agent, right? We're all here today to talk about automation to grow your business, right? So if growing your business is scary, are you an established brokerage that appreciates advancement in modern technology, right? So essentially, if you are a pen and pad guy, I respect it, but this is definitely going to be a presentation today where we talk about actually adding technology into the business, right? Have you committed to building a more engaged and educated list of leads, right? So I think the engaged and educated part of this is really the key. And are you willing to invest the time and energy to implement, right? We've all been to dozens and dozens of presentations, but been actually guilty of not implementing. So be honest about yourself. It may not be for you if you don't believe in automation. I know some people don't. They want that personal touch and they want it to be manual. More power to them. Don't treat their business like a business. and are looking for a silver bullet, right? So what we're going to cover today is going to help your business, but it's not going to turn you into a real estate empire overnight. That's something that I really want to make sure I get across to everyone here, is that this is something that is going to work, but it's not going to take you from 10 transactions to 100 overnight. If you intend to follow the norm, we're here to get ahead of competitors in our market. So obviously the norm will not do. And if you're unwilling to invest time, energy, and resources to implement what you've learned today, don't bother. Another quote here: a man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder, right? It's amazing how little time people spend thinking about their purpose, similar to the way the rudder is a very small part of a ship, but ultimately the rudder actually, got ahead of myself. The rudder actually directs the ship, and that is very similar to what a purpose can do. My rudder here is my family here. You can see my dad on the left-hand side didn't come from a lot, but worked his ass off, actually a real estate agent down on 30A, if you're familiar with Florida. And he was able to provide an amazing lifestyle for me and my brothers all across the top. And ultimately, I want to do the same for my family one day. No kids yet, but one day. And a purpose isn't without a set of values, right? So one of the reasons why I enjoy working here at Chime so much is because we have our own set of values, and these really drive our business. It's how we hire people. When we interview people, we have our checklist of core values, and we want to make sure that these people that we hire and subsequently fire either meet the checklist or don't. And my favorite is that we pursue constant improvement. We really are here to be innovators and game changers in the real estate space. And we can't do that without constant improvement, which to give you some evidence to that, we actually roll out a new product update once a month. So our product is improved once a month. It's actually a little more than that, about every 3 weeks, so 14 times a year. Now, tell me, why do real estate professionals thrive? Why do some, while others struggle simply to survive? Let's think about a survivor. The caveman. I don't think anyone confused a caveman for a thriver, but much more so a survivor. What did they do, right? They went out, they found the herd for that day, took their big log, giant stick, clonked one over the head if they could, dragged it back home, and they ate for the night, only to have to go through that entire process again later, right? The problems with survival marketing is that you're always chasing. I'm sure y'all are familiar with the experience in real estate where you have a ton of business and then no business, and then a lot of business and then no business, right? This is the paradox that real estate agents have to break through in order to really thrive in this industry. And the reason is marketing is disjointed. On again, off again. I'm generating leads, I'm not generating leads. I'm generating leads, I'm not generating leads. And that stems from the fact that agents don't have the confidence that the marketing plan is actually going to work, right? So you have to have a consistent marketing plan that you have confidence in. So before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the technology here, I want to bring up another metaphor that I'm particularly fond of. Think of your business as a strawberry field. So here you can see one strawberry in a field of many, and each strawberry represents a person. Now, with the marketing and follow-up that many people have in place today, they get an awful lot of these moldy strawberries, aka missed opportunities. If you own a strawberry field, you're in the business of selling strawberries. You can't sell moldy strawberries. If you're in the business of real estate, you're in the business of selling homes. If someone has bought or sold with somebody else, you cannot help them buy or sell. So let me ask you, how many moldy strawberries do you think you have versus how many fruitful strawberries, ripe strawberries that are ready to be sold? 5? Do you have 5%, 10% of your database? Do you know? Do you believe that you could know? And here's the reality that so many people deal with. They think that of their database, of their leads, etc., there is a small sliver that are good leads and this big, massive percentage that are considered otherwise bad leads, right? This is the industry is full of this thought, when in reality, this is really what your database looks like. This is really what a strawberry field looks like. There's a higher percentage of people who are ready to buy than you realize. There's a higher percentage of people who could be ready, but maybe there's something that's holding them back, whether it's finances or other life events. And there's people who are not ready today, people who are going to be shopping for a little while longer. Then, of course, there's the percentage of your database that will just never buy, and that will be what it will be. And there's no getting away from that, and that's okay. Why is that? Why do so many agents deal with this when we know it's this? And it's because of the inability to reach out to people, the proper, to reach out to a large number of people a large number of times. As you can see here, the number of meaningful interactions that people have is incredibly low, right? Number of calls, number of meaningful interactions, and that results in a small number of deals that close, right? I remember talking with a client one time about how they were just having no success, right? I'm calling the lead. I called the leads. I called 100 leads once, and none of them bought from me, or one of them bought from me. I got lucky. That's what they say. That's what the clients say. I got lucky. I got one. When in reality, we know that luck has very little to do with this. But sales statistics after sales statistics show the number of meaningful interactions you're able to make, the more number of clients you're able to obtain, right? That's really the trick here, is client acquisition. The reality is, so few have the technology implemented in their business that they need to make these meaningful interactions, that they get a database full of this rather than this. So, speaking of, the ill-equipped strawberry farmer is trying to water his strawberry with a watering pail. And that's why so many strawberries die on the vine, because they are being watered with a watering pail. Much like many realtors are following up and using technology in their business that is more equivalent to a watering pail. And that will get you a small basket of strawberries. That will close, a small amount of business for you. And as an individual who's just trying to get by, maybe that's enough. But if you're trying to build a real estate business, a strawberry empire, what you need is this: an industrial sized sprinkling system that's going to work whether you are or not. It's going to work regardless of what you're doing, and it's going to be able to properly nurture all the strawberries in your field. And it will give you this: a large strawberry business. So what are the takeaways here? It's important to know what's in your field. Don't let your profits rot be able to nurture. But you're only able to do this when you are leveraging effectively. So the sales funnel, the oh so infamous sales funnel, results from people always chasing because they generate interest, which is the leads, right? This is the largest number, leads up here. They sell to the hot ones, the ones they were lucky to find. They go get new clients, or because they sell to the hot ones, they get the new clients. Sign, release, and start all the way over. So what we know is that there's lost opportunity there. We know that. I think we all agree. Here. Holes in the funnel, a leaky watering pail. So if we were to put some numbers behind it, I think 100 is the easiest round number. 3 out of 100 for some folks is generous, but it's certainly not a realistic number. What happens to the other 97? They fall through the cracks, they don't get any follow-up, and they buy with your competitor. How many times, raise your hand virtually here if you have spoken to a lead who said, I just bought or sold with somebody else. I just signed a listing agreement. I just signed a buyer brokerage agreement with somebody else. I think that's all. Yep. There's Thomas. Thank you. I appreciate the interaction. See, being engaged. Thomas is paying attention. And be honest, right? My girlfriend is a real estate agent, and it's happened to her. She's been a real estate agent not nearly as long as many of you here today, and it's already happened to her. So it's all about time. People are going to buy on their time frame. I highly doubt you've ever had a buyer or seller who is ready to buy and sell on your time frame. So as a result, everyone just becomes garbage. So let's capitalize on the opportunity. Automate the follow-up. And this is so important. When you're automating the follow-up process, you cannot just hit people over the head every time and say, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Right? You sound like that annoying kid in the back seat of the car. And if you don't quiet down, they're going to turn their sale around and go find someone else. You must be offering value. We are in this time in real estate where offering value is a non-negotiable, right? iBuyers are making it so easy for people that the convenience factor, that's value, right? We all agree that iBuyers mathematically, financially aren't the most valuable option for your clients, but the convenience and the speed and the certainty as they sell it is valuable, right? So you as a professional need to offer value as well. And I invite you to run all of your communication through an internal filter of, is this value? Am I bringing value today? If you're not, delete it and start over, right? Educate. This is a way of bringing value, right? It's so interesting. You and I being in the space, working in real estate, we are so accustomed to this, or we're so knowledgeable, right? That some terms that may seem everyday to us are a foreign language to so many others. As a matter of fact, a doctor friend of mine, right? So a friend of mine who I've known literally since I was 14 years old, much smarter than me, truly. I mean, he's a doctor. He and I were on the phone the other day, and he's trying to buy a home in Tacoma. And what he told me was how crazy it is. Market's crazy, right? Every property has no less than 5 offers, and they're going for overvalue, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, yeah, Atlanta is very similar. We've got, I think less than 6 weeks worth of inventory here. And he said, you know what? I heard that Tacoma has like 0.6 inventory. What does that mean, right? So think about it. If you weren't a real estate professional, would that mean anything to you? 0.6 inventory, 0.6 months worth of inventory. He had no idea what that meant. I had to explain to him what inventory meant. So educate, educate, educate. Nurture, we have to do this over a long period of time. We can't just offer value once and say, ha, I offered value, I educated you, buy from me. Their time frame, not yours. And then you've earned the right to sell. This is so key, so key. You earn the right to sell after you've done all the things that I aforementioned, right? So don't forget that. Always be closing. I appreciate that. But you got to do a few things to get to that place. And then repeat it. You scale it. Absolutely. You have to scale it. So that I did my metaphor. We did the sales funnel. I want to get into some of the meat and potatoes here to talk about technology. There is a new method of automating follow-up that is absolutely going to change this industry. You can see here at Chime, what we've created and what our clients love is our AI assistant here. And artificial intelligence is been a buzzword for years now, right? This is not the first time you've heard about AI. If it is, what have you been doing? But AI, no offense, AI just hasn't necessarily entered the space in a way where it can make a meaningful impact in your follow-up. And what I mean by that is it's been around and it's been here, but it's still heavily relied on you in order to make it worthwhile. What I mean by that is if you have a CRM or you have technology that rings a bell and says, hey, here's a lead, here's a buyer, here's a new opportunity, that's great. That's all well and good, but it still requires you to be a little more involved. Or maybe the follow-up is a little more static, meaning a text goes out because somebody did something. That's fine, but it's going to get outdated by what we've built here with the AI assistant. Because what this is doing is allowing our clients to actually engage with folk or have our AI assistant engage for them and have a full-fledged conversation, right? So this is something that I think is so exciting because it's really going to change the space and going to revolutionize the way people think about follow-up. So what does it do? Or how does it work, right? It's engaging via text and chatbot. Facebook Messenger is in beta right now, and then email's going to come next. We're going to be automatically delivering listing recommendations to your clients. Remember, online leads came to your website for listings largely. Let's give them to them. And what it does is it's going to result in you only having to work with the agents who, the leads who are hot, right? It's going to shuffle those cold leads aside and bubble up the hot leads. And you're only connecting when someone knows they're going to be talking to an agent. And that's what I get most excited about, because I've been in the online lead generation now for 6+ years, and agents don't want to talk to leads. We know that. They want to talk to people who want to talk to them about real estate. And that's what this opportunity is going to bring. Is that all the other leads? They'll be nurtured. They'll be off to the side. We're only going to deliver to you people who we've already qualified and are ready to talk to you. Now, one of the reasons why AI has not been prepared and has not been ready to actually be implemented and or trusted, I should say trusted in real estate's business is because a real estate agent's business is because the lack of quality options out there. This is amazing. I actually was talking with a partner company of ours. The guy by the name of Daniel, he works over at Verse, if you're familiar with them, great service. And he and I were talking just about chat bots, and he told me he reached out to Quicken because he wanted to learn about their experience from the consumer side, and he got a text message from a chat bot. Okay, great, sure, I'll talk to a chat bot. He responded, I want to know my rate. And the chat bot responded, I can't believe I didn't put a picture of the text on this. The chat bot responded, sorry, I don't understand your message. This is Quicken, guys. They have millions of dollars. They spent $200 million a year for the past however many years growing their business, and their chat bot doesn't understand the phrase, I want to know my rate. So you can see where the lack of trust has come in the real estate space to implement artificial intelligence. So what we did was go to the most highly respected technology company in the world, pretty much, with Google, and we have used their machine learning algorithm and natural language processing, and we infused it with millions of conversations between with leads in order for the machine learning to understand what consumers say, what they ask for, what they need, and the proper response. So as a result, we have a chat bot that actually speaks in real conversational terms and provides a great experience for your leads. So I'm going to go off script here for a second. I guess it's really not that far off script since I have it written right here, but I'm going to get away from the PowerPoint. And if any of y'all know me, you know I really do not like PowerPoints. So this has been an effort for me, and I'm going to jump directly into the Chime platform. If you are not a Chime client, we would love to have you, but your CRM should have some of these tools that I'm about to go over in order to build automated follow-up plans. If it does not, we should talk. If you're a Chime client and you're not totally familiar with some of these tools, please visit the Help Center. So there are two types of follow-up. I call them dynamic and static. The AI assistant is a dynamic form of follow-up. I actually kind of put that in its own category, but for all intents and purposes, it's dynamic. It changes. It's actually conversational. Very, very powerful, as aforementioned. But what I want to share with you today is the way smart plans or drip campaigns. If you're not a Chime client, you would know this as a drip campaign. And this is our version of drip campaigns. We just call them smart plans because they do a little bit more than your run-of-the-mill drip campaign. Static automation is exactly what you think of when you think of a drip campaign. You build it once, it is the same way forever and ever. That's all it will ever be. It goes out on schedule, on time, regardless of what's changed. And that has value in certain circumstances. We know birthdays don't change. Closing dates don't change. Anniversaries hopefully don't change. So you want those dynamic types of campaigns because they're really good for long-term nurture, past client, sphere of influence style nurture. you want that, right? And so you can actually see, those reoccurring plans. This is that static type of nurture. That's okay. You want that to an extent. But when you're talking about converting leads at a really high level, that's not good enough. You need something more dynamic. And what I mean by dynamic is that if the circumstances change, the smart plan or drip campaign or whatever you use can change with it, right? So this is really common with behavioral-based messaging, but this needs to be. This is a more complicated topic than I think people necessarily give it credit. Behavioral-based messaging is most often associated with a brand new lead or maybe an uncontacted lead. A lead came in 6 months ago and they just came back to your website. I definitely want my system texting them, right? They came in 6 months ago. I forgot about them 5 months and 28 days ago, right? So I'm off. I'm selling real estate. I'm busy. But the system is never going to be too busy for these kind of leads. So think of it this way. A lead, again, you've never contacted this lead. It's an online lead, no prior relationship. Returns to the website after 28 days, 4 weeks. This is these details right here are where so many people actually begin to drop the ball, because I need my system to know the difference between a return visitor that is a uncontacted lead and a client that I helped buy a home 2 months ago, right? Because what happens if a client I helped sell a home 2 months ago comes back to my website because their neighbor's home got listed, right? So now they're on my website, looking at the neighbor's house, making sure it doesn't look better than theirs, whatever. And they get a text message from my system saying, "Hey, thanks for coming back to the site. Have you already purchased, or are you still looking?" And you sent that to your client from 2 months ago. That's a bad look. It's a bad look. So I need my system to know that if someone is in the closed pipeline stage, don't text them that. Remind me or send me a notification so I can reach out to that person. If they closed 2 months ago, you can probably just let it slide. If they closed 5 years ago and they're coming back to your website, this is probably the right time to be reaching out to them. But I don't want just a standard text going out to them. However, if that is a new lead or attempted contacting or cold, I don't want to talk to that person, right? Like, I don't want to go out of my way to do this. I'm growing a business here. I don't have time for every single lead that comes back to my website after 28 days. I want the system to send a text, send an email, right? And if they respond, that's when I show up and I provide my expertise. So your system needs to be intelligent enough to be able to decipher who your leads are, and you need to build a smart plan for them that is appropriate, right? So these are this dynamic style of messaging. This is really going to enhance your long-term lead nurture conversion. You can use them for brand new leads. I think what we're doing with our AI assistant trumps all of this, from a speed to lead, new lead, lead nurture to an extent conversation. But if you don't have an AI assistant in your business, you definitely need something like this. This is a non-negotiable. So keep that in mind. And that's, that's a phrase that I would want you to implement into your business as well, is non-negotiable. Come up with a ruthless set of core values, right? We talked about in the beginning. Those are non-negotiables for us at Chime. If you want to work here, you have to have these core values. If you don't, this is not the best place for you. If you run a business, if you have new leads, if you have technology in your business, there's certain standards that are non-negotiables. In order to scale and grow a profitable business, this is what you have to do. And what I want to point out is none of what I've said, nor what I'm going to say, included buying any more leads than you have today, right? This is all technology to get the most out of what you already have in your business. If you don't implement this, and instead you just continue to do what you're doing and just buy more leads and fill the funnel at the top, you'll probably get more closings at the bottom. But all you're doing, but if you're not returning, you're not increasing your return on investment. You're putting more money here, you're getting a consummate number of closings down here. Percentage wise, ROI stays the same. And the concern there is because you have more leads, you may become more overwhelmed, so you may not be able to scale your conversion rate. So you, matter of fact, may decrease your return on investment percentage wise, and you definitely can't increase your return on investment percentage wise. So there's really only downside of buying more leads without implementing proper automation into your business. So think about that, because that is absolutely an overlooked aspect of scaling a real estate business, is buy more leads without necessarily increasing your return on investment. There's more in here we could go through. If you want to go through more, I would recommend scheduling a demo. A few more things I want to say about the AI assistant, because truly this is such a game changer. Is you can set the AI assistant to with the very similar settings that I just went through with the smart plans, right? So you're going to be able to have the AI assistant engage with whom you'd like for it to engage with, and leave alone who you like it to leave alone. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want your AI assistant engaging with your past clients, that's okay. Pick your lead sources, pick their pipeline stages, your groups, your tags, your lead types, what have you, and you can custom build who your AI assistant is following up with and who subsequently it is not. So, who's ready? You saw what we went through today. You stuck with me through my strawberry metaphor, hate it or not, love it or not. Who's ready to scale their business? That's you. And you don't have the technology that we went through today, or the technology you do have is not equipped to take you where you're ready to go. Please, please, please reach out to us. Go to chime.me to schedule your demo. Mention this webinar, mention Automation Domination. We're going to get you a special deal. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we're going to get you a special deal. Automation Domination, chime.me, schedule the demo today. And I am so super grateful for your time. So that being said, who has questions? All right, I need to figure out how to find questions. Q&A. All right. I've got a question here. What are some recommended lead sources if I'm not buying leads today? That's a really good question. If you are not buying online leads today, then you need to think about what exactly is going to be important to you when it comes to online leads, and what your business is prepared for. Because there's so many different types of online leads that require so many different types of follow-up. You need to make sure you're prepared for the proper follow-up with that type of online lead. So let me just break it down in a simple example. Something like a Google or Facebook lead, you can get at a very inexpensive price, right? But you're going to have a longer term follow-up. You're going to need a longer term follow-up in place. So make sure you've got a 6-month runway, if not longer. Quite frankly, be prepared for a year. If you're going to be buying online leads, Google, Facebook, be prepared to invest in them for a year before you start to see a return on your investment. When you're talking about some portal leads like Zillow or Realtor.com, what have you, those leads are going to be more expensive, but they're going to convert more quickly. So if you are willing to pay that premium for higher for quicker lead conversion, totally on you. Another thing I would point out is go and find every single referral check based lead generation platform you can and sign up for them. You've got Referral Exchange, OpCity, is there one called Lemon, something like that? It came out. There was just a post about all of them in our user forum. I can't remember them all, but definitely get signed up for all of those, because the reality is it's going to fill your pipeline, and it's not going to cost you anything up front. Let's see. If you are, okay, here's a question. I have a team. All right, question. Answer the team question in a second. Got a question here from Sheila. She's a sole practitioner. How long would you estimate it would take to set up databases? About 1,800 people. When it comes to setting up Chime, you can get access into your database with your Chime CRM within 48 hours of signing up. Getting the IDX integrated from the MLS, as you probably know, can take up to it can be a week. I'll say a week, could be longer depending on how quickly your MLS moves and how little or much difficulty that they are when it comes to working with vendors. When it comes to importing your database, you can import your database as soon as you have access. If you have a CSV file or an Excel file, we can import them. With something like 1,800 people, there's going to be no problem whatsoever. My question to you about that would simply be, how much data do you have on those 1,800 people? And this is to anyone with a database of any size. When you are moving CRMs, it is probably one of the most frustrating experiences realtors go through today, I think. It is certainly a pain point in the transition process. If you have a large amount of data, I mean, property alerts, tasks, long conversations, text, emails, etc. What you want to go through is a advanced import with us, because the advanced import is going to get all of that information. So you're not going to leave any property alerts, any upcoming tasks. Those are the two of the things that I think make the biggest difference. It maintains continuity with the property alerts, and it keeps any upcoming tasks from falling through the cracks. Make sure you go through the advanced import. A regular export or regular import is simply export to CSV Excel file, upload file. Within minutes, your database is within Chime. So that experience is quite easy. You may spend some time making sure all of the headlines are correct, but that's super easy. Any people you can recommend to help? If you want help with an import, there is a gentleman he's a Chime client. He's a real estate agent in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I think that's the place. And he can help you with that. His name is Adam Frank. So reach out to him. He's with EXP. Super nice guy. Very intelligent. They can definitely help. We can also help though, right? So I would recommend working with Chime first. If we can't seem to get it done, then he can. So that's the question. I have a team of 6 agents. When it comes to lead conversion, follow-up is obviously important, but from a team leader perspective, so is accountability. How can we keep our agents accountable? Again, that comes back to your CRM. Does it have reporting? Does it have speed to lead metrics? Does it have does it have activity metrics? Things like that. And that is one reason why something like an AI assistant can be so valuable, because it will work even if your agents aren't. So definitely recommend that. Lead ponds, a lead pond feature is really powerful as well, because it opens up the opportunity to convert leads to each of your agents. So if you have an agent who is a little hungrier, works a little harder, they can go into the lead pond and fish from there, which is especially effective from keeping any agents from stockpiling leads. I think we all have or all know of the agent who asks for leads, wants leads, gets leads, does nothing with the leads. They sit in the new lead pipeline stage. They maybe get one phone call. And so his CRM just becomes a graveyard of dead leads. A lead pond, as well as an occasional audit of that, will help prevent that from happening. Very cool. Let's see, we've got a few seconds here before we're at 10 minutes to the top of the hour. If you've got any questions, you've got a couple more seconds left to let me know, but I'm going to dismiss class early if that is all. Again, reach out to us, chime.me, not chime.com, chime.me, schedule a demo, mention automation, domination, get your discount, and get ready to grow your strawberry field. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you next time.